This is the second half of Cognitronics and the longest-running voice in telephony. In 1981, I found a shortwave number station that very obviously was employing a Cognitronics machine.
3892 3154 5643.
I knew it was a Cognitronics machine because I had been hearing them ever since one day in late 1970 when a switchman told me to dial 958 if I wanted a thrill.
593 9083.
Since then, I found Cognitronics machines on some of the rate quote systems used by operators.
Check 89516 plus.
During the 70s, we saw MCI open up a whole new market for Cognitronics machines with their announcements.
Number you have dialed is not on the network.
Followed by SPC.
Your call cannot be completed. You have dialed an unauthorized location.
And others.
The number dialed is invalid. Please check the number and redial your call.
Meanwhile, in 1974, we saw Cognitronics pioneering digitally recorded speech with these.
593 9083 212452.
But of all the Cognitronics machines we encountered prior to 1981, the one that really stood out as sounding totally cool was the operator's computer on the code 009 located in Omaha for Northwestern Bell. Now, before January 1972, that system sounded like this.
868 1205.
When you keyed the code 009, it would answer with this tone, which you could also make it play back in the middle of a string of digits, which is what I did there. Unfortunately, that's the only recording of the original Northwestern Bell 009, because in January 1972, on the very day that I was using the 052 conference, not for talking to people, but as a touchtone to MF converter to record all the 009 operator computers, that very day was the day that we discovered there was a new voice on the Northwestern Bell system. And in a way, it was cooler than the original.
Check 9516 plus.
That was the Cognitronics voice at its best. It sounded like my favorite version of 958, the one that spoke like this.
8256719.
As with the old system, you could put in a string of digits and have it recite them.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 3 1 1 5 5 5 2 3 6 8.
There was some code that you could key in to get the time. If it was 12:22 p.m., for example, it would say this.
1 2 2 2.
You could find out whether there were coin phones in a particular exchange and what the operator's route was for that exchange.
Check 8, check 9, 203 plus 039 plus.
Check 8, check 9 means that if the number is in the 8 or 9,000 group, you should check to make sure it's not a coin before placing a collect call to that number. If, on the other hand, the exchange had no coin phones in it, it would respond like this.
0, check 516 plus.
Unlike all of the other rate quote systems, this one could actually tell you the cost of a long-distance call. The others just gave you the rate step, and then the operator had to use that information to look up how many cents per minute it was, etc. With this one, you'd give it the area code and exchange the call was being made from, area code and exchange the call was being made to, how many minutes it was going to be, and what type of rate it was, station to station, person to person, etc.
155 station. 265 person.
It could also do the cost of calls from payphones.
170 coin station. 290 coin person.
There were 4 different rate periods for long-distance calls: day, evening, night, and weekend. The amount the machine quoted was always for whatever the current time period was. If you asked on the weekend, you'd get the weekend rate. Asked at night, you'd get the night rate. But you could always check the day direct dial rate by using option 5.
155 day.
If the 2 locations you specified were not a long-distance call apart, it would say this.
Local.
And if you screwed up the input, it would do this.
Redial.
A very cool sounding system, and what's interesting about it to me is that it foreshadows the future sound of Cognitronics. Now, 1981 was the pivotal year when Cognitronics came into its own, because that was the moment when it became economically feasible to play back high-quality speech digitally. It was Bill Acker who first discovered this in 1981 in the course of doing his job at the Mountain Bell Test Center, whatever it was called. There was an independent, digitally served community dial office that had something in it that Bill and I had never heard before this time.
This is October 29th, 1981, and all I can say is listen to this.
The number you have dialed, 5412298, is not in service. Please call your operator for assistance. This is a recording. Thank you. The number you have dialed, 5412299, has been changed. The new number is 5412268. Please note, the new number is 5412268. This is a recording. Thank you.
By the way, you can't rekey after that flash, in case you were wondering.
When Bill and I first heard this in late 1981, we had never heard that voice sounding that way, except in one place.
Check 9516 plus.
Right, and that was 9 years earlier using magnetic drum technology. But now they had managed to match their best sound using a brand new high-quality digital technology. Well, Bill was curious, and he asked a guy who worked for that small independent phone company that had just installed this new Cognitronics thing, and it turns out it has a remote access number, which the guy showed him.
Enter function.
Okay, it said enter function. So when it says that, you enter the old number. Okay, enter 5412520.
5412520. Please enter new number.
Okay, the new number for this person is 7452655.
New number 7452655. Please enter date.
Okay, we've been using the month and the year like 10 for 1081. Just put 1081.
Date 1081. Please enter category.
Okay, now category is something we don't use, but if you wanted class marketers for some reason, I think you put about 2 or 3 different numbers in, but we just put 0 in.
Category 0. Enter function.
Okay, now
Back to the next one.
We're back to the next one. Now, to get rid of, you hit the, let's see, the, what do you call it, the star down to the left,
Yep.
left-hand bottom, keep it.
Oh,
Very drops it off. Okay, now dial that number, and you should have the recording in there.
The number you have dialed, 74520 has been changed. The new number is 7452655. Please note, the new number is 745.
And this person has moved from one exchange to another exchange.
And then he's going to get his number changed back.
Thank you.
That's right. In about 4 weeks from now, that number will change back to 541. So,
Will you make any attempt to give him back his old number? Seems like a good idea.
yeah, we could. We probably will.
Uh-huh.
And that way we can take it out of here.
Uh-huh. How do you take a number out?
You would have to ask. I haven't read the manual that far.
Okay, what other categories? Okay, what does the date mean? You know, why do you put in a
whatever
date?
date you put it in. Now, you can go back and check these. Now, they're working on a RS-232 interface where you can get a printout on this.
Uh-huh.
Whatever you have in the memory bank. But right now, you're dependent upon keeping, good records.
Uh-huh.
I'd be happy to give you the guy's name that, he gave us a 60-day free demonstration, a unit here to try for 60 days.
Oh.
So, if you wanted to
Yeah,
try one out, I'm sure he'd be happy to let you, try one for 60 days.
How big is the darn thing?
Well, it's in a 19-inch rack, and
Uh-huh.
it takes about 6 inches of rack space.
Uh-huh, and how many trunks come into it?
3 trunks,
3 trunks. Plus the dial-up, right?
plus a dial-up.
Uh-huh.
But it's perfect, for a small office, and this one, I think he said it handled 600 numbers.
Uh-huh, just 600 changes, it'll just,
Yeah.
and then load it
Now, I think it's also, he said something about an area code in it, and I'm not sure what it was, but he said if you took that option out of it, it holds about 900 numbers.
in. Oh, I see. There's some sort of area code option.
Yeah.
Okay, who's the person that makes this?
Cognitronics.
Ah, yes. Oh, yes, I'm familiar with them.
You're familiar with them.
Stamford, Connecticut?
That's right.
Okay, what's the guy's name?
Rod Cohane, Cohane.
Uh-huh, and what's the number?
Area code 203
Uh-huh.
327.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And the categories, you don't, 0 just seems to be a change, right?
Well, you can use it any way you want to.
Uh-huh.
That's up to you, however you want to use it.
You mean you don't think the category changes the machine any?
No, it's just...
Could another category be disconnected or something?
I
or?
don't think so. There's not a temporary disconnect or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
But in the Model 685, there's only 3 different recordings you get.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to look at one, you're welcome to come down and look at ours, or...
Yeah, I'd like to look at the whole darn thing, actually, the whole DCO.
Well, give us a couple more weeks, or actually, if you want to wait about 4 more weeks, we'll be all cut over.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're welcome to come anytime you want to.
Uh-huh.
Just don't come on the weekend, or we'll have you throwing jumpers.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you get a lot of work in there.
Because we cut Matheson this coming weekend.
Matheson, that's the 342, right?
Yeah, that's 342.
And then
2 weeks after that, we cut Rama.
Rama, that's the place. How far are they away from you folks?
Rama is 5 miles, and Matheson is 7.
They're local calls then, right?
They will be local calls.
They were not?
No, they were not.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we had 3 small switchboards, electromechanical switchboards, and it was a lot cheaper to buy one switch than to buy 3.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't. Now we could have
Remote switching system, I imagine.
Yeah, we could add remote switching, and even in the DCO, we could add 3 different prefixes and charge them.
Mm-hmm.
For long distance calling, but
just easier to just go ahead.
yeah, and they're so close together, and actually, it's really a community of interest because Simla is only it's about 500, and Matheson's about 75, and Rama's about the same.
Wow.
And all the people in those towns come to Simla to go to school and the churches, and so it's really it's all one community.
What we can gather from the tape is that this new central office is a Stromberg-Carlson DCO recently installed in Simla, Colorado, and that the same company had very small offices in Rama and Matheson, which were not local calls to each other. Surprising in itself, since he does say there's a community of interest. All 3 towns are going to be put into the Simla switch, and that number that he had build program in is someone who is moving from Simla to Rama, whose number has to change for the time being, but as soon as Rama gets integrated into the SIMLA switch, he will once again have a SIMLA 541 number, and perhaps they'll give him back his original number. The gentleman said that those other towns were electromechanical switchboards, and the only way I know to interpret that is that at this point in time, Matheson and Rama are ring downs, i.e. manual service. That's indeed possible when we consider that the last Bell system manual in Santa Catalina Island, California, didn't go dial until 1978. It's quite conceivable that a little independent in 1981, with a small number of customers, might have been manual until late 1981.
Do you do your own AMA recording, or you dump it all into CAMA?
We dump it into CAMA.
Oh.
Now, we could have bought a Llama, but we didn't.
Uh-huh.
We thought about it, and we may later.
Uh-huh.
Right now, we're not going to do it.
Do you have custom calling features?
Yes, we do.
Even call forwarding?
Yes.
Well, you know, by using CAMA, you're keeping them from call forwarding to toll.
Right.
You know, that's kind of too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, someday I'll try and come down and visit y'all. That'll be kind of neat.
What was your last name?
Acker, A-C-K-E-R.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, Bill.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
So Stromberg is the CO.
Yeah. Wonder why it wants a date.
Maybe for your own purposes.
Yeah, but what are your own purposes?
Well, you look back, you can check and see that number, that referral's been going for 5 years, and there's no need to keep it on.
LY3.
Yeah, right.
Bill is referring to my original home phone number,
LY3 9083 has been changed. The new number is...
which at this point has been on AIS for more than 5 years. At this point, the conversation diverges to a related but different subject, namely the Western Electric AIS and how you were able to tell it whether or not to announce the exchange name in letters.
Hey, do you know how in AIS they make it say the letters?
Well, there used to be a separate status code for say letters.
Uh-huh. Hold on a second.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the way it used to be was there was a separate status code for letters. In other words,
Changed with letters, disconnected with letters, that sort of thing?
the whole bit, yeah, like for instance, is being changed, the new number such and such is not yet connected. I think it was status 40 for a 7-digit referral.
Mm-hmm.
It was status 45 for the same thing with saying letters if there are any. Status 41 would be for a 10-digit referral or for a 7-digit referral with a name. I don't remember which.
Mm-hmm.
And then 46 and so on.
Ah, yes.
They tended to do it that way. Status 4 would be like disconnected, and status 14. It was like,
Wow.
you know, so they had a lot of the stuff like that, but of course now they don't seem to use letters. Now, how Philadelphia was giving out letters on new numbers,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that worked.
You know why that was, of course. They just didn't go in ANC until like 75 or something.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Philadelphia was the last city to convert to all-number calling. Atlanta was one of the first. When the Philadelphia AIS came in, we were surprised to find that it could announce letters for a new number. That's something that the other AISs that had letters never did. And I never found out exactly how that was working. Anyway, let's get back to Cognitronics. I later recorded using the remote myself.
Enter function. 5412299. Please enter new number. New number. Area code 31155523668. Please enter date. Date 1181. Please enter category. Category 0. Enter function.
Here's changing the new number.
5412299. New number. Area code 31155523668. Date 1181. Category 0. Enter service code. Please enter new number. new number. Area code 30724156889. Please enter date. Date 1181. Category 0. Enter function.
And here's taking the listing out completely, causing it to default to vacant again.
54122299. New number. Area code 30724156889. Date 1181. Category 0. Enter service code. Deleted. Enter function.
Here's what happened when I tried entering a string of zeros as the new number.
Enter function. 54122299. Please enter new number. New number. Area code 00000000000.
However, I was able to program it so that it said this rather unlikely new number.
The number you have dialed, 54122299, has been changed. The new number is area code 01234567889. Please note, the new number is area code 01234567889. This is a recording. Thank you.
And of course I cleared it back to normal after that. Before I go on, I should mention that it seems that around 1980, right before Cognitronics came into its own, it began to provide some less primitive, but still not very good sounding digital announcements for the Dan Ray machines used by companies like MCI and SPC Sprint, such that this...
Your call cannot be completed. You have dialed an unauthorized location.
very cool sounding, became this.
Your call cannot be completed. You have dialed an unauthorized location.
Better than this,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
but not as good as this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's get back to the good stuff. Here's another remote access number, not for an Intercept system, but for some sort of central office trunk testing system. This was in Minneapolis, meaning it was Northwestern Bell. I can't tell from the call what type of office it was. I never learned anything about it or did anything with it, except to call it up once and press a touch tone B tone, which made it recite all of its phrases.
Remote control. Incoming major alarm not active. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Minus dB Debrinko signal access type supergroup group channel error short code out of range timeout no user number remote control jumbo group master group or kilohertz .1 receive transmit total failure 0 outgoing came clear 2 attention line general bay equipment failure pilot office number.
As it turns out, the voice of Cognitronics is the longest-running voice in telephony. Here is the last recording I will ever make from a payphone in my life, probably from a Missouri welcome center where there still was a real payphone in 2017. And of course, there was only one thing that could get me to record from a payphone, this.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator to help you.
My good telephone pickup coil, which I didn't have the day I went to Nantes-Quebec, had a slightly corroded plug from not being used since the 1980s, and that's how it screwed up the beginning of this.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
And here is where my ability to call on my tape library for this subject matter ends. Actually, that last one wasn't a tape. That's my only digital recording made off a payphone. But anyway, I stopped recording in 1987. But there was someone named Jen who recorded a lot of Intercept recordings, including Cognitronics Intercept. She created a website called thisisarecording.com, which has recently been resurrected and preserved by Telephone World. And so you can hear these recordings on there once again. And it has quite a library of Cognitronics recordings, such as,
The person you are calling has Ameritech Call Waiting Deluxe and will answer your call soon. Please stay on the line.
Now that one is both dated and too late for me to have recorded it. This is a voice from the 60s that goes into the 90s and beyond.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed due to problems in the destination PBX. Please hang up and try your call again.
Now that's a new one on me, and I can think of a place where that might have come in handy.
What in the hell is happening to my DID traffic?
We're sorry. All channels are busy now. Please try your call again later.
What did that have to do with maybe the mobile service that predated cellular?
We're sorry. The long-distance company access code you dialed must be preceded by the digits 950. Please hang up and try your call again.
Now that harkens back to the 1980s, in the days when long-distance company access codes beginning with 10 were just 4 digits. So if you dialed 1088 and you got that recording, it meant you needed to dial 950-1088. And also the reverse is represented here.
We're sorry. It is not necessary to dial the digits 950 before the long-distance company access code. Please hang up and try your call again.
Surprisingly, there are several different EQs that these phrases have, and very often there's a mismatch within the same announcement.
All channels are busy now. Please try your call again later. We're sorry. It is not necessary to dial the digits 950.
Now, surely they could have done better than that. I mean, why don't people care about these things?
It's about your call that did not go through.
Okay, good point, guy.
Enter function.
Whoa. Never thought I'd hear that so close up. Actually, that's from the complete vocabulary of a device by Cognitronics, very similar, almost identical, to the one that Bill was told about in late 1981.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Please note, this is a recording. Has been changed. The number you have dialed is not in service. Please check the number and dial again. The number dialed, the new number is enter function. Please enter area code, new number, invalid, not available. Enter service code, deleted, category, date, re-enter, thank you, or dial directory assistance.
As I said earlier, this is the longest-running voice in telephony. Jane Barbie didn't show up until 1969. That's according to what Bill Acker and Joe Ingressia have said. And in my many conversations with Bill, there was no doubt that he heard 958, the ANAC in the New York area.
6, 9, 4, 5, 8, 5, 9.
Before 1969. So the Cognitronics voice has been out there longer than Jane Barbie. The Cognitronics company was incorporated in 1962, meaning that it was too late to participate in the production of what were called call announcers. A call announcer was a device invented by the Bell system in 1930 or so, which was used to announce the number being called from a dial office to a manual office using loops of photographic film. The manual operator would answer the trunk, and she would hear 4 digits like this.
5, 8, 5, 9.
Except it wasn't in that voice in the 30s. They used call announcers as well as panel call indicators to make it possible for customers with dials on their phones to dial all their calls. If they were calling to a manual, they would dial it, and then the operator, without having to talk to the customer, would either get the number on a panel illuminated in front of her, or she would hear
9083.
something like that, but not from a Cognitronics machine, and connect the call. But 1962 was too late to go into the production of those, so it seems like Cognitronics' first telephone invention might have been the ANA, automatic number announcer. Now, for many years, the thisisarecording.com site did not know the name of the announcer, so she was called Anna, which was a good stand-in name given that it all began with
8256719,
which was originally called the ANA. And speaking of the old ANAs, to be complete, I should mention that the Cognitronics ANAs in New York had 3 different sets of pre-recorded digits. Each one was distinctive in a particular way. There was the sedate one,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
then there was the shouter,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
and finally, my favorite, the interesting one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
It was actually somewhat troubling to me that in the middle 70s, as the older ones that I liked started to get dirty, they'd order a new roll of photographic film digits from Cognitronics, and it was always the sedate one. So Bill's office, for example, started out with the shouter,
6, 9, 4, 5, 8, 5, 9.
and ended up like this.
6, 9, 4, 5, 8, 5, 9.
So in the middle 70s, the sedate digits became the standard for the analog machines. But it was the shouter digits that ended up being digitized in that awful way
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
that became a new standard. And by the way, don't use those count-offs as any kind of a timing reference because they're not edited perfectly. So anyway, she was Anna to those who were fans of her on the internet until 2020, when there was an actress named Joyce Gordon who passed away after having a long career, including in television and movies. She was known as the girl with the glasses, and according to one obituary, she did Intercept announcements. Really? Well, Todd from Atlanta was kind enough to find me some clips of the television show Law and Order, in which Joyce Gordon in her later years would occasionally play a judge. And here is a clip that I want you to hear, because as soon as I heard this clip, I knew who she was. Listen.
Your Honor, this is a ludicrous interpretation of the kidnapping statute. Mr. Fallon should never have been arrested.
The statute is clear, and Mr. Fallon clearly violated it.
You say Mr. Fallon assumed control of his children in order to terrorize them. You say he assumed control over them to save them from an unfit mother. Is that the gist?
Penal Law, Section 135.30.
I'm familiar with the statute, Counselor. You have a built-in affirmative defense. He did not intend to terrorize them. As for you, Mr. McCoy, this better be worth the court's time.
Now, if just hearing that doesn't erase any doubts in your mind, let's take a Cognitronics Intercept recording that has kind of a Law and Order theme. How about this one?
911 is not a working emergency number for your area. For emergencies, hang up a moment and dial your operator.
All right. And now, by making the EQ and the background noise similar enough so that you can do a comparison and not be distracted, here is a side-by-side between a Cognitronics recording and Joyce Gordon on Law and Order.
911 is not a working emergency number for your area.
You say he assumed control over them to save them from an unfit mother.
The suspect has been identified. That's who it was all along. You know, I've been wondering about her name for decades on end now, and it's kind of sad that I didn't find out until her death. But if she'd ever come across thisisarecording.com, she would have known she had fans. On the telephone, of all things. Anyway, that's it for this program.